Quicksilver, Quicksilver, Quicksilver. Let's talk about the benefits of the Quicksilver card to start because there are so many. Let's start with the fact that you get 24/7, 365 concierge service that can assist you with making dinner reservations, with travel, with anything you need help with. The Capital One Concierge is there for you with the Quicksilver card and a lot of their other cards as well. And I think for a card with no annual fee, for a cashback card, that's a great deal. Another benefit that's not so widely talked about is the virtual card number that they give you. So if you're shopping online at a sketchy website, you don't really want to use your card, your real credit card, to prevent fraud, you can use a virtual card number from Capital One. It also works well for trials, card memberships, anything where you don't want to use your real card just because, you know, when you get a free membership for like 3 months and then you forget about it and they charge your card and you want to cancel it, that virtual card number is going to be your best friend. In addition, for a limited time until November 14th, 2024, you're going to get an Uber One membership for 6 months. Uber One benefits include 10% off certain purchases, top-rated Uber drivers, $0 delivery fee, and more. You can also use your rewards to check out on Amazon. So at checkout on Amazon, it'll give you like an option to pay for your purchase with a percentage or whatever, how many rewards you have. And that's also a great option. You also get exclusive access with your Quicksilver card and any Capital One card for big events, concerts. So Taylor Swift concert tickets just went on sale and everybody with a Capital One card was able to get early access to those tickets. People without a Capital One card were scrambling trying to figure out how to get one. And I'm sure that's great for Capital One's business, attracting new customers, especially the younger demographic, because I think that's really who our fan base is. And so it's great marketing and it's great for you because if you really want to see Taylor Swift or anyone else they might work with in the future, it's great for you, great for early access and all that. You also get access to reservations at award-winning restaurants. It's always good to be able to wiggle your way where there's no way, and so I think it's great that Capital One offers this. And a big perk, a reason that I will be getting the card in a few weeks, is the no foreign transaction fee. A lot of entry-level credit cards, especially cashback cards, will have a 3% foreign transaction fee. So if you travel the country, you're going to be charged a fee on whatever you spend. I love that the Capital One Quicksilver card has no foreign transaction fees. Even if you only travel internationally once a year or not very often, the card has no annual fee, so you're not really losing anything by getting the card. Extended warranty. So if you buy a purse today and that purse next week gets stolen or damaged, you can call Capital One and say, hey, my purse was damaged. Are you able to send me a refund or a replacement? And they are able to do that. One of my favorite perks is a 24-hour travel assistance services. So if you're on vacation, whether it's domestically or internationally, and you lose your card or it gets stolen, you can call Capital One and they will send you an emergency replacement and you get a cash advance. So I think it's great on Capital One's part that they are a great business in general, will identify their customer's problem before it happens and solve the problem. So if you're on vacation, if you're in Paris and your card gets stolen, if it's pickpocketed, you can call Capital One. Not only will they replace the card, but they'll give you a cash advance. I think that's big on them. They really thought about the consumers and the customer, and I think it's a great tool. Now let's talk about another benefit. We're almost done with the benefits, but the Capital One travel portal. So I don't have a personal Capital One card, but I do have a Capital One business card, and I can say the Capital One business portal, it's definitely separate because in the IP address it says like CapitalOneBusiness.com or something like that, and the hotel prices are always cheaper. My primary personal card is the Amex Gold card, and I never book hotels through the Amex Gold, not the Amex Gold card, the Amex travel portal, because it's always more expensive. Even booking directly with the hotel is really expensive. Capital One always has the deals for like 10%, 20%, 30% cheaper. So if you're looking for hotels, if you're traveling a lot, the Capital One travel portal, I'm sure personally, is just as good as the business one, and the deals are always fire. It's a main reason why I would continue to have a Capital One card in my wallet, honestly. It saved me a lot of money. Another really good benefit is the price match guarantee on travel. So if you are booking a hotel, let's say you go directly to the hotel's website and the hotel is cheaper on the website versus on the Capital One travel portal, Capital One will match that price. So after 24 hours of booking, email Capital One and they will give you a travel credit for the difference of the price. Again, they are just thinking about the consumer, thinking about the consumer, thinking about the consumer. And the last benefit, which is not the complete last benefit of all, but the last one I'm going to be talking about today, is that you get price alerts when flights drop. So I think that's a great tool, especially if you're able to be flexible with your dates. It's nice to be notified directly exactly when the flights are dropping so you can act fast and you don't have to be constantly taking time on your day to check the flights, make sure, do all that. It saves you a lot of time because you have a lot of headache. And again, Capital One is really really thinking about their consumer when they create these benefits and offer these services. Now let's talk about the spending categories that you will be earning cash back in on the Capital One Quicksilver card. It's 1.5% cash back on all purchases, all everyday spend, all that, and 5% cash back on rental cars and hotels booked through Capital One Travel. I know for a lot of cards, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, the standard has kind of become 2%, but with $0 annual fee and all the benefits that I just stated, and then no foreign transaction fees, I think you're still getting a lot of value with this card. Let's talk a little bit more about the card. So you are getting a $200 welcome bonus after you spend $500 in 3 months. I think that is a very generous offer. I know if you're about to do a big purchase, spending $500 and only having to pay $300 of it back is a great offer. That is the best coupon, the best deal that you could ever get. And so I think being strategic about when you open credit cards is really, really important. Doing your research and then knowing exactly when and why you're opening a card is really important. For example, I'm getting ready to take a trip. I know that my hotel is $500, and when I get this welcome bonus, I'm only gonna have to pay $300 of that back. It like literally works out perfectly. So being really strategic about these cards when you're opening and not just having credit just to have it and not just spending money and putting money on cards just to do that is really, really helpful. Again, as I said, the card has no annual fee, which is always nice. So even if you're not using this card frequently, if it's not your, everyday spender, which for me it's not, there's no harm in keeping it in my wallet because it's not costing me any money every year. You also get 0% APR for 15 months. And let me say something, and please hear me loud and clear. Do not get this card with the intention to carry a balance for 15 months, because let me tell you something about 15 months. 15 months is coming, okay? 15 months is coming, and it's going to creep on you faster than you realize it will. And I think for a lot of people, the problem is that, and this is great marketing, right? Because a lot of people, their finances are at the back of their mind, the back of their lives, when really your finances should be kind of more in the forefront, and you shouldn't be buying something with the intention of like, oh yeah, I have 15 months before I have to pay it off. Oh yeah, I have 10 months before I have to pay it off, because time is always moving faster than we do sometimes. And so 15 months is going to creep up on you, and all of a sudden you're going to have $2,000 on this credit card that you're now going to be paying interest on probably for the rest of your life, because Capital One is notorious for those high interest rates, which brings me to one of the cons. People are complaining about Capital One's interest rate, and I don't mean to sound insensitive to this at all, but they're supposed to be high. That is how banks, credit card companies make their money. So the interest rate being high is not unfair. It's not anything out of the ordinary. This is the game that you're playing, which is why I'm saying be very careful about that 15 months. 15 months is a long time, but 15 months also comes by really quickly. You are someone who you're going to be carrying a balance, or you struggle with paying your card off in full. I would just take a minute to think about the interest rate, but after La La Land is over and after 15 months goes by, is this going to make sense for you? Is this going to be a good idea and a good addition to your wallet long term, or is it going to get you in a little bit of trouble? Because let's be real, those minimum payments is really only going to cover your interest, and you're going to be stuck with that principal balance for a very long time. Okay, now let's talk about how to increase your credit limits. Capital One wants to see you using the card very frequently. I've heard from other people that they want to see your usage at like 30%. I'm not giving you any credit advice. I'm not going to do that. My credit score is like over 750. I do what works for me. You do what works for you. If you know that utilizing 30% of your credit limit is going to be difficult for you to pay back, obviously do not do that. Just keep using the card normally. Keep using it for everyday purchases. Keep using it for all your purchases. Make sure that you're using it very frequently, for everything if you can. And that's how you're going to get Capital One or any credit card, honestly, to increase your credit. I had a Discover It card. It was my first credit card when I was 18, and I really never used it because I was taught, like, stay away from credit cards, do this. And my credit limit was a $500 limit. They never increased it until like a year and a half later, when I was told from someone, use your credit card for everything. And then sure enough, I started using my credit card for every single thing. And within 6 months, they took my credit limit from like a 500 credit limit to like a 2,700 limit. So it's stuck there because now I don't use that card at all anymore, because now I have the Amex Gold card. But that's just what it was. So make sure if you are looking for credit limit increases that you are regularly using your card. And if I know people, I don't know if you spend money every day. I mean, I do. But if you are spending money every day, make sure it's with that make sure it's with the card that you want to get a credit limit increase in, okay? And if not every day, frequently, okay? So that is the end of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.